Daith da, Ewinakan. Welcome to podcast number 60. We had our chance to let our hair down a bit last weekend, although my hair's getting less every year. We went to the Cornwall area of the National Association of Funeral Directors dinner dance, and that was up at St Melian Hotel and Golf Club. And it was a fantastic evening. We got up there mid-afternoon on the Saturday, met up with our little gang that we always go with, and then had a brilliant evening do. You may well have seen the photographs on my Facebook page, and I think you will agree that I do look remarkably like John Travolta when he was in his prime. But just to explain, the National Association of Funeral Directors is an association for all the companies, if they want to, in funeral directing throughout the country as a support for us. But also we have to abide by, strict code of conduct, how we conduct ourselves and everything. Not all funeral directors are in it, but a lot are. And we're also in the SAFE, which is the Society of Allied and Independent Funeral Directors, which is a similar organisation for independent family firms. But I'll do an episode on them in the future. I'll go into it in a bit more depth. So we stayed up there the Saturday night and then come back home Sunday morning. And I had pretty much a day of paperwork because I knew we was busy this week. So I wanted to catch up and be ahead of the game. We've cared for families, all over again this week, really. We've been like Roach, Wadebridge, St Teth, St Column, Bodmin, St Mirren, and even Lanson. So here, there and everywhere. But I'm recording this on the Thursday evening, which is Mabon's 16th birthday, by the way. And James, my eldest, it was his 34th, I think it was, on the 5th of November. So it is a busy month for birthdays for us. But today was a pressure day, really. We had a funeral at St Mirren for dear Chris Prynne, somebody I've known, again, for a big chunk of my life. And I knew it would be a pressurised funeral just because of the sheer number of people that would have been there. And I think what made it more difficult was the weather, because we had some heavy showers today. And we went up yesterday, we set up our PA system, all geared up, ready to go. But with the heavy showers today, I knew I had to try and get as many people in church as I could. We still had a few outside listening to the speakers, but 'tis quite sad, really, because Chris's family is like a number of families we've cared for. With myself now, he's like the third generation. I can remember doing his father's funeral, his mother's funeral, his grandparents' funeral, and it just makes you realise how the years are going by. But Chris was a beauty. Whenever I saw him at a funeral, he'd say, "Here, you've had some funerals of our family over the years," and he would reel a few off. And then I'd see him again at the next funeral. He said, "Here, you beggar." He said, "I thought of 2 more funerals as well. Like, you've done very well out of our family." And I loved him. We always had brilliant banter, fantastic banter. And today, the funeral was different. But in a way, it was similar because it was just as we did for Ed, his father, not that long ago. Obviously, Chris and the family have got the sand company. They're down at Padstow. So the hearse went down to the quay. I expect there was lots of people there that saw it, actually. We put his coffin on the low loader. And what a fantastic sight. They had their whole fleet of lorries. Our hearse went ahead, just clear the roads, and then lorries behind. And then with Chris on the low loader, and then Karen and the family in the limo behind. And what a sight coming up towards St Mirren Church to see all of that. And I say the fantastic number. I mean, I was talking to Elizabeth Churchwarden afterwards, and she was estimating between, 600 and 700 people. Fantastic. So, a very sad day. I'll miss his banter, but one of his boys, I think it was Matt, said to me as we was lifting father off the low loader, "Here's another one you got from our family." So I think perhaps the banter will continue, but we'll miss him, I tell you. And we would have had Chris, obviously he's younger. So you're thinking in the future I would have had him on the podcast, but that's not to be. On last week's podcast, obviously I talked about Storm Ciarán, and the weather wasn't that bad this week, but we obviously said goodbye to Storm Ciarán. Well, we've also said goodbye to another Ciarán, and that's Father Ciarán, the Catholic priest here for Bodmin, Weybridge and Padstow, and he's been recalled, I think, back to the monastery in Ireland, if I'm right. So 'twas sad to say goodbye to him, but this week we had a service with his successor, Father Paul Keys. Lovely chap, and I'm sure he'll be liked in the area too. And also the same day, I think it might have been the first service I'd ever had with Reverend Iris Bray. So it was nice to have a Reverend Bray on with us. And I was talking to her after the service, and I think all of their Brays, I think she said, was from St. Clear way. But yeah, that was a nice thing to have a little service with her anyway. So I was out this evening, and I was walking past the table, and I heard somebody shout, and I looked, and it was Mike Osborne and his maid Rachel. So they called me over and said, "Here, we're listening to your podcast now." And of course, that was done last week and this week's as well with Mike's brother Barry. So we had a little yarn, and he come up with a few new different stories that I hadn't heard from Barry. So I said to Mike, we'll leave it a little while and then we'll have you on here too. So that was good. So I think we'll now go over to our second half with Barry and Shirley. I know a lot of people made comments about last week, absolutely loved it. And then I'll speak to you directly for me little bit of Cornish dialect and me Cornish word. But 'tis now back to Barry and Shirley. So you always went like Weybridge Market.
Yeah, we'd go St. Column.
St. Column, yeah.
Yeah, my father would go St. Column.
Of course, both gone now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you another tale about father in the sidecar.
Yeah.
You Della Bowl at a cattle market.
Did it really?
Yeah, and he went up there with a motorbike in the sidecar and put a calf in the sidecar and come up.
Did he really?
Yeah.
God.
It was lovely going up through Weybridge.
I'd love to have seen that. Yeah.
Especially the calf was looking out.
Yeah. Because no bypass, so you'd have gone right up the main street.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be allowed to do anything like that nowadays.
No.
Yeah, and I was saying about, when I had a license too early, and we used to carry, downtown Sugarbeet, and one of the policemen that was an inspector or someone said to me, Uncle Jack Lockett, "Here," he said, "how old's your nephew?" He said, "I don't know why." Well, he's driving a great old big tractor through the town. So you might have had go Dartmoor this evening.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You've had a few close scrapes, really.
Well, not really.
No. You bent the rules.
I was too good.
Yeah, you bent the rules. Yeah.
Well, how old were you when you drove for a while for your Uncle Jack Lockett's butcher's van?
Oh, I don't know.
You was legally old enough till then, were you?
Oh, yeah.
And that was in Weybridge, right?
Yeah, that was only standing in for Jack Steer.
Oh, yeah.
You know Jack?
Jack, yeah.
He had something matter with him, I don't know. Then he went and got married, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I drive in, I was on the honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if my father had come back now, he wouldn't hardly know where he's to in Weybridge, would he?
No. So where would you would always go St. Column from here, would he?
Yeah.
Shopping when you was younger?
Yeah. Occasionally, I mean, when my sister and I left school before we could drive and that, we'd catch a bus sometimes and we'd go to Newquay.
Yeah.
Or else we'd catch a bus and go to Truro occasionally on the bus.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, that was when we left school, because we both stayed home. We didn't go out and get jobs.
No.
You were expected to stay home, really, and out. Well, we did have to go outdoors and help,
Yeah, exactly.
Then when,
having no sons.
after we was married, you used to go Weybridge Fridays, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
No, yeah, that's right.
Well, we'd go market day, wouldn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then after, and I would go market. When I was driving and that, I'd go Fridays shopping in Weybridge.
Yeah.
But that was after we were married.
Yeah.
You and your mother.
Yeah.
Because was market day in Weybridge, was that always a Monday then?
As far as I know.
Because, when I was younger, I remember it was Monday.
And St. Column's was a Monday as well.
Yeah.
Oh, was that?
That's a bit strange, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
two neighbouring markets.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think they'd have different days, wouldn't they?
I suppose perhaps one market was fat cattle, and perhaps the other market was straw cattle.
I don't know.
Maybe it was like that.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question now.
Yeah.
I've got a book or something, and there's a map in there of Old Way Bridge showing where the wells are.
Right.
You any idea
No.
what book it is?
I haven't got a clue. No.
Funny, I was looking at Langdon's book before you come.
Oh, yeah.
in,
Yeah.
But Old Way Bridge and that, but putting in that one, I can't think what other one I got of Way Bridge.
No.
Well, you'll have to find it one day.
Yeah. That's right, because that's where you got all your water years ago.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
no mains
Yeah.
water, so you was there.
So it's there somewhere now.
Yeah,
Filled
exactly.
in, I suppose.
Yeah, because there was talking about Jack Steer. I know they was talking about there was a well out Slade's Bridge there and a village pump and everything.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, they used to get the water from and that. And we say farming have all changed, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think we'd be lost if we had all the old paperwork and that to do now, wouldn't we, Barry?
Yeah.
We got a bit lazy and left the youngsters do it.
Yeah. Well, there is so much paperwork
Oh,
and
it's
everything
terrible.
in there.
So much red tape. A lot of it isn't necessary.
No.
I
No.
don't think it is.
Keeping somebody
Well, I
in
mean,
the job.
it's the same even with your job and that. I expect you've always got
Yeah.
more red tape coming into it.
Yeah. And especially the last 18 months.
Yeah.
There's all these new regulations coming, which some of it is good for
Yeah.
funerals
Yes,
side and that,
yeah.
but it's a lot more work. And
Yes.
that,
Is
you
there
know.
anything about charging less?
No.
Cool.
So, what hobbies? Do you have any hobbies, or was he working most of the time, or?
Well,
Well,
football club.
I started going Weybridge Football Club 70 odd years ago.
Did he play then?
No.
No, spectator. No.
Yeah, well,
You went with their
When
family,
I-
didn't you?
when I was about 7, I suppose I went the first one. Uncle Jack Lockett took me up there. I was
Right.
in there staying. And then Father got interested. And then we started going a bit. And then we all used to go in, Mother and Father and Frida and me. Been going ever since.
Yeah, they used to have big attendances years
Oh, yeah,
ago, didn't they?
yeah. Hundreds.
Well, there wasn't nothing else doing, you see, was there?
No, no.
But now there's so much.
And there's all local boys you're just about to. And made a difference.
Yeah. You've always liked Steams, traction
Yeah,
end
oh, yeah,
rallies and
yeah.
that, haven't you?
Yeah,
Been to Dorset for, well, we haven't the last few years with COVID and that, and we can't walk now, Lakewood, but you've been there for 30 odd years, haven't we?
Have
It's
you
a
really?
long time. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more, I expect.
It's lovely to see the old engines working and
Yeah.
that and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, of course, I mean, like, you would have known the engines and that when thrashing, you see, when you was a lad.
Well, yeah, only the one then.
Yeah, but you did.
Horace Parsons.
Did you say you used to do thrashing? Other farmers would want you to come, wouldn't they?
Oh, when I was older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
to go thrashing. And then all the young men, see, they'd be put to carry the bags of corn up in the barns,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd pick on the young
I
ones.
think that's what
Damage
beat me knees up a bit.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it wasn't a little old bag that in half hundredweight. You weren't there to carry no more. Well, it's under half hundredweight now, isn't it, a bag?
Couldn't went there carrying nothing hardly never.
No.
No, but back in those
Not
days,
even
you would,
Collins.
you would
No.
be carrying, goodness knows what the weight would have been.
Of course, you pay for it then in later
Yeah.
life a bit,
Yeah,
don't they?
never
Yeah,
mind. Old, young and foolish,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
But you'd have some fun sometimes at the thrashing, wouldn't you?
yeah.
The rats and that coming
Well,
out.
that wasn't no fun to me.
No,
All gone.
all gone now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
One man go out in the field now and do more in a day we've done in a week with a binder.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Then you had to carry it after.
And they make the fields are bigger than they used to be as well.
Yeah,
aren't
took down the hedges and.
Got to be
yeah.
for the size of the machine.
they? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm back in the days when we were children, harvest time, it was quite fun in a way, wasn't it? It was
yeah,
partly a social gathering, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have tea out
Tea out
field.
field. And,
And, yeah, and you'd have others coming in to help and that, you know.
yeah,
But, well, more community,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
different, yeah.
exactly.
Now, because those up there, up on the camp, they keep themselves to themselves.
Yeah,
We're all scattered.
but, well,
Yeah.
You know, there's no, I
We're-
mean,
we're in
there's
many
a few,
local
there's a
things
few,
this
there's a
side.
few houses over in Golland, and there's
Yeah.
a few more down to Burrock. But it's all scattered, and then it's all scattered, you know, like there's us and there's Trubisco, you know, we're all way out and over downhill and that, you know, it's all scattered. And to be honest, there's hardly any locals living around anymore. The families have all seemed to, well, some have died out, like the Curtises have died out and that, they all used to be down here. And
and I say years ago, people never travelled very far, did they? From where they was born and that, you know. Oh,
I heard the first part of your thing yesterday.
Oh, did I?
You got Bath, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, running up there. Not bad.
You're old enough to know better now.
You still do your running then, do you?
Yeah. Well, I didn't start till I was 52, I think, when I started running.
Yeah.
So
you still do the marathon, do you, every year?
Yeah.
What, London?
Yeah,
Good.
Did London again this year.
You did?
Yeah. And I got a place for next year too.
Oh, good.
So
good, yeah.
I wouldn't mind, because I'm 59 November, so I wouldn't mind doing it next year. Well, no, it's going to have to be the year after, because I wouldn't mind running a marathon when I'm 60.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's going to have to be the year after again, isn't it, for London.
So you're the same age as Ian, I think.
We was in the same year at school.
You were in the same year at school,
Yeah.
He taught her all you know, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that in a lot.
Whereas Malcolm is, well, Malcolm's 6 months older than Ian. So Malcolm is 60 next June.
Yeah.
He's 60 when I'm 80.
So which school did Malcolm go to? Did he go?
He went up on the airfield up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went there till he was 11. And then they went to Treviglis.
Treviglis, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas when I first went comprehensive, it was down Drethorus.
Yeah.
But then Treviglis was built by the time they were old enough to go.
Yeah.
So they went down there.
Yeah.
You got nice little school up here, haven't they, really?
Yeah.
Or it used to be, anyway.
Yeah, the children had a good start up here.
Yeah.
Malcolm and Sandra.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
they did. Because you never had no start outs in Neville, it was terrible.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you fancy, you know, there was 2 classrooms and there was children from 5 to 15 out there. Well, you know, it can't work.
It can't. No. Not at all.
No, and I can remember
One teacher.
once you could read, you used to teach the new ones that come in, the little ones, you know, help them to read and that. Well, you know, it isn't quite the thing, is it? You should be getting further advanced with what you meant to be
That's
doing,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
Might have been as brainy as me.
Well, yeah.
No, I've never classed myself to be brainy, but I've always classed myself to have a lot of common sense.
There isn't a lot of that around these days, is there?
No.
That's something you can't teach people, isn't it?
Exactly.
And where did you go to school?
I went all in Weybridge. Went girls' school first.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Then the boys'
I
school.
wish I knew that before.
Well, of course, we called it girls' school. Was it Weybridge Junior Girls and Infant School?
Yeah,
That's
up
right.
the slope, up
Up the slope.
near
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Isn't it? Yeah.
that's right.
Mother went there, they had a sled back then to ride on.
So what was Mother's maiden name then?
Collicutt.
Because there was Collicutts. Do they have a shop in town?
You think of Tremaine and Collicutt?
Yeah. That same family or no?
Yeah, he was a cousin to Mother. Then did you know Terry Collicutt? He was on the water board, wasn't he?
Yeah. He used to live next door to us. Well, we lived in Glen Road and Terry lived in Trevanion Road, but their gardens went right the way down into Glen Road, so our gardens was next door to each other.
Going off from Johnny Farrett. Yeah, he said there was something called Oak in up Malter Street, wasn't there?
Yes.
Well, Fallacy was a lot older, and when he was going to school, there was 2 oaks side by side, I think.
Was there? Right.
Sweet Oak and Top Oak.
Right.
And one Christmas, they was downtown at a dinner time or after school or something, and they had nuts in the shop, you know. So they sent Jack Retallick, who was a lot younger, sent in for a penny of mixed nuts and put in a coconut as well.
Oh, no. I suppose the shops would, well, you're a little bit younger than John.
Oh,
yeah. So shops would have been different to when he was talking about, like.
Yeah, because that was before John said there was 2 oaks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oak and Sweetie Oak.
You go Royal Cornwall show every year?
We stopped
Used
now.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been for the last 2 years.
No.
Well, I haven't been for the last. I didn't go this year, but I went the year before. But
Yeah.
you haven't been for 2 years.
2 years up now.
No. It's long old days walking around.
Yeah.
It's lovely seeing it.
That's why you only go one day, isn't it? You weren't fit enough to do.
No, and I can't afford to go more than one day.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, the grandsons have offered. They've offered to take him to get a mobility thing or even push a wheelchair and push him around. They do that, but no. I mean, he wouldn't even.
Bad riding in the coffin.
Like with your church in St Eville, because nowadays you've got one vicar for about 6 or 7 churches, isn't he?
Yeah,
So
we got five.
Five
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
What was it like when you was younger then?
When I was younger, well, most of the time I can remember we shared a vicar with St Irvine.
that's when we got married, I suppose.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Browning
Yeah.
was here. He married us, and then after that, well, several years ago now, St Morgan went in with us,
Yeah.
and then St Column went in with us, and now St Enidor has gone in with us.
That's right. Yeah.
What would you have done if you won in this business?
I don't know. I always wanted to play guitar because I used to play from when I was 6. I played guitar,
Oh yeah.
and I always wanted to play in groups. But I started with Father when I was 18. But I was in a group. I must have been about 23, 24 in Bodmin, and they was aiming to hit the big time.
Oh.
So they said, right, we're moving up to London.
Oh yeah.
And it was a hang of a decision then. I
Yeah.
thought, do I go with they or do I stay with
business.
Father?
Yeah.
And in the end, I don't know, I had vibes, I don't know what to do. So I stayed. And thankfully, I've never heard since that they made the big time.
No,
For
no.
The next,
So you made the right choice.
I think so. Because
Yeah.
the next few years, I was dreading looking on top of the pops and they'd be on there playing,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, that would be upsetting,
Oh,
wouldn't it?
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I love meeting people, really.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, good
Even the
job.
miserable old beggars.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't help that. Turned over everybody would be like me, would it?
No, exactly.
Or you.
No.
And by the way, that rumour you brought out about me
fruit to
didn't right.
What one was that?
Digging the foundation for St Neville Church.
You weren't foreman then?
No, it's just finished when I sort of left school.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I suppose you had cars and that right from early times when you pair was younger then, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Father after he got rid of his motorbike sidecar.
Yeah.
He had Austin 7 then.
Yeah.
His mother had one driving lesson, but she tried to do 80 in the Austin 7, so that she had a full license to it. Well, right until
Well, perhaps you
you didn't have
take a
to
test.
pass
you
no
might-
test.
No, that's
No,
right.
and she had a licence and never drove.
I know my
You would have
insurance
been
was about
22.
£12.
Was that, yeah.
You would have been.
Now there's hundreds, isn't it?
Yeah.
You would have been 22 or 3, wouldn't you?
SCV 442.
So was there, I'm thinking, I remember petrol stations in St Izzy.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, that's right. I remember 2 then. How about out here then? Where's your nearest petrol station here now?
Morganport.
Yeah, I suppose Morganport, but I know we always used to get it in Powell's in St Callum, I suppose.
Oh, well, because you went
Oh
there.
no, Dad would get it over Rumford.
Rumford, Olds over
St-
Rumford.
Oh,
Over
yeah.
Rumford, yes. Olds over Rumford
Yeah.
would be mainly. Or if we were going, and if we were going to Weybridge, because Mum's dad retired, he lived at Treligo, up Weybridge he retired to.
Right.
And if we were going in there, Dad would always get petrol from Bryant's garage, wasn't it? Up
Right.
top the
Top
hill.
Hill.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always went to Bryant's.
Yeah.
You can't remember that.
No.
But I can.
Yeah.
You remember the old toll gate, can you?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but this wasn't Tollgate, this was
No, yeah,
top
I
of the Weybridge Hill there.
Because there was Westcott going up West Hill when I was younger. Which is
Yeah,
all
that
flats.
was Bryant's.
That was, that was Bryant's.
I don't know how to... Percy Bryant. I don't know. Did somebody else have it after? I ain't sure.
No, I don't know. And then I suppose if we were going, like, when we started Young Farmers, like, my sister and I couldn't drive, so Dad would take us. But then he would go in his approach out Mr. Dalton's.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I remember that. He went to Uncle Les's field.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went away on a young farmer's holiday
that's before
summer.
my time.
We come back, all this old edge, this field edge was gone. I didn't know nothing about it.
No.
It was happening.
Yeah.
Grandfather Osborne went to America mining.
Did he?
Yeah, and he come home. I don't know how long he was out there. He come home, bought a farm, got married, had 4 boys and a girl, and he put father on farming, and Uncle
Yeah,
Sam.
it was rented farms, man.
Yeah,
They're not
but-
an area where
they
you
had-
bought and lived.
They had to
Boys.
stock them.
Yeah.
You know, he must have made a lot of money in a short time.
Definitely.
Well, you could do a lot with it then, I expect, Barry.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I never knew where he was mining till.
No,
Never. Don't think about asking.
you don't do
No,
it.
it's too late. You think about these things when it's
Yeah.
too late. It's like all the old photos we've got of, well, my family and your family, and we don't know who they all are.
No, I haven't got many of mine.
No, not so much. I've got some, haven't I?
Yeah, if you've got a couple of minutes, I'll go into you.
Yeah.
Sure. Don't get too excited. You probably don't know nothing about it. Whitecross second team.
Cool, what a brilliant photo, isn't it? So were you two then?
Now, what? That's father. He's goalkeeper. He's born a cripple, but he's a goalkeeper. Hang on, there's 4 brothers there anyway.
Oh, names on the back.
Yeah.
Gilbert Hicks, yeah. Fred Raby, Tom Osborne. Oh, Darky King, yeah.
Yeah.
Alf Gard, George Chapman, Reg Osborne, Leslie Osborne, Nelson X, Charlie Sloggett, Charlie X, Sam Osborne, and Clarence Sloggett. God, brilliant.
That was the second team.
Amazing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing?
I don't know who's in the first team.
God, what a brilliant photo, isn't it? So,
I thought I had another one, but I don't know where I'm doing. A bigger one.
yeah.
But I could get Nathan to take one off, really.
See, Barry's father, when he was born with 1 foot facing the wrong way.
Backward.
Was he really?
Yeah, he had to go to London, didn't he? As a child.
Right, Ormond Street.
Right. So,
He spent his 3rd birthday there, wasn't it?
I don't know.
yeah.
I know.
Could they rectify it completely then, or?
They cut his ankle bone out,
Right.
so he never bent that one.
Oh, I see.
And he never had no muscle here, just
No.
bone, skin and bone.
Oh, dear.
I don't know what happened to the muscle.
No.
Well, I suppose it died if it wasn't,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
being used. I don't know. But, you got 1 or 2 letters that they wrote back
Yeah.
to the family, didn't they? Saying
That's me and my sister. I had straight hair and curly teeth.
And then you see, 8 years after Barry, the twins came along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that they was twins. Yeah.
So really, the twins, like Frida, really was nearly like a mother to the twins, because she'd have been about 12.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it, isn't it? Can you think of anything else you want to say, or no?
Not on there.
It's going to be hard work for you to take all half of it. You've got to take out.
Oh, that's all right, yeah. So what I'll do, I'll say goodbye now, and then you pair can say goodbye too, all right? Okay?
To one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I might go in with you.
you can come with me if you want. No, you.
No, we can't.
Oh, I could help.
Hey, well,
Well,
you could.
you-
Yeah.
So thank you very much, you pair.
Well, thank you for coming.
I didn't know
David.
she was meant to be in it.
No.
Well, no, that's fine.
And then I just come out and I thought, I wonder if Barry does remember something.
No, that's brilliant.
Hold it
Hopefully
off.
we'll pick you up, because you sat over other side of the room there.
Yeah, I
but-
don't mind if I'm not picked up, to be honest. 'Cause
When you say pick up, you don't mean this way, do you?
No, I don't.
no, that's impossible.
So I'll see you again, all
Right,
right?
David, yeah, thank you. And
Proper job.
and
Lovely.
see you at the next funeral.
Yes, not too soon, I hope.
No, if 'tis mine, you won't see me.
Right on. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you very much.
Well, there we go. Like I always say, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording it. They're a lovely couple, and yeah, I'm sure you loved it anyway. So that's about it for me for this week. I'll just do my Cornish bits, but if you hear noise in the background, 'tis now Friday I'm doing this, and Mabon have got 14 of her mates round for the evening for her birthday party. And I've been shoved upstairs out the way, but they got the speaker on downstairs with some disco music going. So if you do hear music in the background, sorry about that. But I thought for me Cornish word of the week, I do Cornish for tractor. And that is gintana. Gintana. That's Cornish for tractor. And for me Cornish dialect, Barry said something very similar to it in this episode, and it did make me think of what they used to say. So I thought this is what I use for me dialect this week, where you say, I taught him all that I know, and he still don't know nothing. All right, so I taught him all that I know, and he still don't know nothing. So there we go. Right, well, I'll leave you now, and I'll see you again next week. I don't know who it's going to be next week. I am actually got round to recording anybody because we've been flat out this week, but I have got a couple of quieter days next week, so I'll have to have a look, try and get sorted. But I hope you have a good week. Wish you well. Do Guinness. Curno Bisfican.